revealing the stories that matter closer to home. It's Inside Out. Hello, welcome to the brand new series. Now we're going to get straight into our first investigation thanks to people who watch Inside Out here in Milton Keynes. They wrote to me to tell me about their broadband hell. Now the government is spending over £1 billion of our money to make sure the whole country gets a decent service. So what's gone wrong here in a place that prides itself on being at the forefront of new technology? If you live in the countryside, you kind of resign yourself to the fact that your broadband may be pretty poor. But if you live in one of the fastest growing parts of the country, you'd actually expect to have the latest technology and, of course, the fastest broadband speeds. But why is it so difficult for the whole of Milton Keynes to have a decent broadband service? This is Milton Keynes Museum, full of old telephone equipment. And it's the existing phone network that is part of the problem, according to Milton Keynes Broadband Action Group.
When Milton Keynes was originally built, the phone exchanges were spread around Milton Keynes with one central phone exchange in the middle. This means that many houses which are connected to that central phone exchange, about 30,000, have very long phone lines that run along the grid road system, which means they run, instead of directly to properties or in a direct diagonal lines, they run vertically and horizontally. So lots of the phone lines are very long. This means that the further you get away from the phone exchange, the slower the broadband service actually is. For a city that's tech savvy and young in terms of the population, that's very, very frustrating.
So, ironically, being a futuristic town seems to be a problem for Milton Keynes. It is more difficult and expensive than the average town to update the phone network, and maybe why BT are connecting other areas first. But if you remember, we started right here in the countryside, where you might expect the broadband to be slow. Well, I've got a surprise for you. Meet Ken Otter. He discovered that there are a few companies offering extremely fast broadband to rural villages, if those villages can get enough households to sign up.
It wasn't worthwhile for Gigaclear to go 9 kilometres just to serve 180 houses. It was not financially viable. But by collecting another 7 villages to start with, and then adding another 2, we ended up with 1,500 houses, which would generate an income for a Gigaclear and a reason for them coming.
This can be 40 times as fast as superfast. So why couldn't this happen in Milton Keynes?
It's more difficult than rural areas for companies like us because we're basically putting a new infrastructure. We're not reusing existing infrastructure. So to dig down a pavement in a city centre, you know, you're basically competing with all of the other utilities and services that are in that pavement. Whereas in rural England, I mean, there's basically nothing here already. So it's much easier for us to do this.
So let's compare the broadband speeds of rural Cambridgeshire to urban Milton Keynes. And let me explain what it means. Basic broadband is defined by the government as being at least 2 megabits per second. That's fast enough for standard iPlayer. Show me the speed of your internet by doing a speed test.
Okay.
This is less than 1 megabit per second. Let's do the speed test then. Oh, better than Emma's. But both Emma and Penny are less than half the speed of basic broadband. Meanwhile, in Ufford, it's time to switch on their brand new connection.
Marvellous. Look at the figures now. Oh, goodness, look at it go. 17.
That is 1,000 times faster than Emma's broadband.
I did hear that recently Milton Keynes was named a City of Technology, and I don't understand how they can say that when we don't have basic internet speeds.
Wow, 1,000 meg. How galling is that if you're getting around half a meg here in Milton Keynes? Well, if there's something you think we should be looking into, you can get in touch with me on Twitter, if you can get online, @David.